a lot of my songs are my diaries. Sometimes when I'm going through frustrating moments in life or something very emotional, I put it into songs. That it really helps me understand myself, my own emotions, and also kind of get rid of it from my head and put it out there in a song form. It's the most, I call it the best form of therapy, at least for me. For Inner Superhero specifically, this album is about finding positivity and light in life in spite of all of the insane difficulties we all face each day, finding that special positive strength as well inside of us that we have. So it's the whole album kind of deals with finding light and positivity and strength. It all kind of starts with one individual, and then if you are happy, if you're strong, you can really project it into the world.
And that is your inner superhero.
Thank you. Exactly.
Who has the original ideas, to start off a song from scratch?
99% of the time it's me.
No.
I come up usually with a melodic part and some lyric idea, and sometimes I know what I want the song to be about. Sometimes it's literally just one line and like, ooh, I like that. And I play it for Nick and I sing it. I'm like, what do you think? Said, ooh, that sounds really interesting, or maybe not. Sometimes said, oh, it's been done 20 times. Maybe we shouldn't write that. We're so comfortable with each other. We always tell each other the truth. If he really thinks, okay, this is not the strongest thing you have come up with, you can do better. You know, and sometimes I do. And sometimes, wow, this is great. This is one of the best things you've come up with. So
and that's the honest collaboration, when we're writing something. A lot of times Marina will come home from a music event or something, and where she has gone and I'm still home. And she'll come home and she'll say, give me 10 minutes. I just need to go in the music room and get this down. And she'll have her phone and her recorder, her little voice recorder on her phone, and she'll start that and she'll go in here. She'll sit down and play sometimes half an hour or something like that. And then she'll come out and say, okay, I got this idea. I had this idea in the car and I wanted to get it down on recording. So a lot of times that's how a song will start.
Yeah. A lot of times I have ideas in the car. It's the weirdest thing. So I don't know. The traffic inspires me. Not the traffic.
No, I can relate to that. I don't know what it is. It's almost meditative. Maybe it's like the Zen sound of the engine. Going under you.
Right, and you're kind of stuck. Right. You're in the car. It's not like you're going to get out and go somewhere. So if you're stuck in traffic, you're kind of just there. And it's kind of like being on a plane almost.
Yeah, but also when you're driving, you're partially engaged. You're obviously in charge of the car. You don't want to crash. So you're paying attention, but we're also on kind of on autopilot at times. So you're in that perfect in-between zone. It's almost like when you wake up, you're not fully awake, but you are awake at the same time. And that's usually when the best ideas come, even before going to sleep. A lot of artists will tell you that.
If not like a writing block or maybe a disagreement even, how do you guys deal with that when that comes up?
With writing block, I've never had a block, I think. They just sometimes a month goes by, I don't have an idea, and then sometimes I have several ideas in a week. I try not to really think about it too much or force it. That's how at least it is for me.
Yeah, I think also, if we do get into a place where we haven't written something that we really love in a while, we've got such a deep catalog. We have about 150 songs. So sometimes we pull out a song we haven't done in years and relearn that song, and we'll do that, and that kind of reinvigorates us energy-wise, so we're able to go back, dip in, find some of the old songs, bring those back out, and somehow we find that the creativity that maybe has kind of trailed off a little bit just by doing that.
Right.
That's right.
Because it almost works like it does for listening music. It brings you back to a certain place, I think.
That's
maybe,
right.
a certain mindset.
That's right. And songs are weird things. They're kind of like, they're like smell. Sometimes you smell something you haven't smelled in a while, and it takes you back to the first time you smelled that something. With songs is like that. even for us that we wrote that song, maybe could have been 10 years ago, but it takes us back to that place emotionally, and pretty neat. And sometimes it does recharge or reinvigorate us and inspire us in a different, new way. As you can see in this music room, it's mainly the Beatles. I just grew up loving them, and I knew their music before I even learned to speak English, and actually their music inspired me to want to learn English. But they're my biggest inspiration, and of course I love a lot of Russian music I grew up with. Most people outside of Russia don't know it, but Russia has beautiful traditional music that spans centuries, and the melodies are just beautiful. And I grew up knowing that music, and also classical music. My grandparents were huge classical music fans, and in their house they always had vinyl records of just some of the best performances from around the world. And from Tchaikovsky to Mozart to Bach, and just incredible. So those influenced classical, Russian, and the Beatles. Those are my personal favorite to this day. You, next?
Me? Well, I grew up on Kiss. I was a big Kiss fan. Black Sabbath. 80s metal was very big for me. Bands like Cinderella and Rat, things like that. I love those. But I also grew up a big Waylon Jennings fan. Willie Nelson, Johnny Cash. Those were always big parts of my life. That music, I just loved all of that music. And also, I was a big Tori Amos fan. Later on, I became Metallica, Pantera. So into some, quite a wide spectrum. I also played drums in a jazz band in high school. So really, our conductor was amazing. So he really dug deep and got some really old, cool, classic jazz songs that we played. So I learned a lot about jazz as well in high school. But, it all kind of just combines to make you who you are. And like they always say, good artists borrow, great artists steal. So there are little things that we probably grew up with. Beatles as well. I'm a huge Beatles fan, huge Elvis fan. So, we probably there are probably little pieces here and there in our music that that have just been embedded in our brains for so long, they've come out.
That's right. And I didn't know almost all of the music that Nick just mentioned outside of Elvis and the Beatles. I knew very little of that world. So he has introduced me to a whole new world of music that I never really knew. That, I have heard of a couple of them, but they were really not huge on the radio in Russia, or just not popular.
And some you like, and some not so much.
And some I like, some not so much at all. But it's, as a musician, I respect. So, if anybody's doing it well, doing it with a passion and doing it truly, I respect and admire that.
Absolutely.